Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Saturday Night Football review for round 12 of the NRL, Indigenous round. We saw two games of football tonight. We saw the South Sydney Rabbitohs demolish the Parramatta Eels 38 points to 20 down there at Stadium Australia. And we just saw the Sydney Roosters get a pretty good win over the Canberra Raiders, 44 points to 16. I did a review on the earlier game between Penrith and Canterbury. That review is already up on the channel, so make sure you guys go and check that out. But let's get into the review of the second game tonight, which was the Rabbitohs up against the Eels. The Rabbitohs getting away with the win there, 38 points to 20. Let's go through the game. So, third minute, Damien Cook scores the first try of the game. A very nice try from Damien Cook. He fooled everybody and went through and scored the first try of the game. South Sydney up 6-0 early on. A good start for the Bunnies. And then in the 9th minute, a try to Alex Johnston. He scores for South Sydney. South Sydney go out to a 10-0 lead. Then after that, Cameron Murray goes on report for a crusher tackle. Hopefully he doesn't get in any strife because State of Origin is very important and we need Cameron Murray for New South Wales. So South Sydney off to a very good start there at 10 points to 0. And then in the 16th minute, a try to Clint Gutherson from the Parramatta Eels. Gets the game back to 10-6. South Sydney still lead the game. Then in the 21st minute, Cody Walker gets on report for a high tackle on Jacob Arthur. Look, I saw this one a few times. I don't think there's much in it. I think it was more of an accident, if anything. So I don't think Cody Walker has anything to worry about. So South Sydney, they're off to a good start there at 10-6. And then there was another incident where Isaiah Papali'i went to the sin bin for a professional foul. Fair enough. He's gone for 10 minutes. In the 31st minute, a second try to Alex Johnston. South Sydney lead 14 points to 6. And then in the 38th minute, right before half time, a try to Dane Gagai. Tom Opacek's defence was very ordinary in the first half and in the whole game in general. South Sydney 20 points to 6. And then right before half time, Adam Reynolds goes for a 2-point field goal, misses it. Half time, South Sydney 20, Parramatta 6. And I'm thinking to myself, South Sydney got a very comfortable lead here. Parramatta need something to get going. They need to be a lot better in certain areas. And then in the second half, South Sydney started the way they finished the second half with another try to Dane Gagai. South Sydney up 26 points to 6 at this stage of the game. And then this is where Parramatta, they had to score the next try, and they sure did through Isaiah Papali'i. South Sydney still led the game though, 26 points to 10. And then Alex Johnston scored another try. South Sydney at that stage 32-10 up, and then Gagai collects a hat-trick. South Sydney up 38 points to 10, and then a try to Micah Sevo, 38 points to 14 in favour of Souths. And then Jacob Arthur scores a try at the end there, and the Rabbitohs get the win, 38 points to 20. You know, I thought South Sydney were very good in the first half. Second half, they sort of let their guard down a little bit, but you know, South Sydney, they had to bounce back. They got flogged by Melbourne a few weeks ago by 50. Embarrassed last week at Dubbo against Penrith by 50. And Parramatta were hammered by Manly last week at Bankwest. And they'll hammered again tonight at Stadium Australia. So Parramatta lost 2 in a row. For the first time this year, South Sydney needed to bounce back. And they were able to do that. Now we'll go through some of the good players tonight from the Rabbitohs. And we'll start with... Latrell Mitchell, I thought he had a really good game at fullback. Obviously, trying to get into the Origin side, I thought he was outstanding. I thought Cody Walker was great tonight as well. I thought he had a really good game. Alex Johnston and Dane Gagai were great as well, scoring 3 tries each. Damien Cook also made a statement tonight. He had a really good game. You know, the forwards were very good as well. The likes of Jai Arrow and Keon Kalamatangi. Cameron Murray made a huge difference back for him. And for Parramatta, a lot of their players were really poor, so the only ones that I can really mention that I thought were good was Marata Niokore off the bench. I thought Nathan Brown tried hard, and I also thought Jacob Arthur had a very solid game. I thought he tried really hard as well, and thought he played all right. But South Sydney, man, far too good for the Eels tonight. My top 3 players on ground for South Sydney versus Parramatta. I'm going to go number 3. I'm going to go with Cody Walker. Number 2, I'm going to go with Damien Cook. And number 1, my man of the match, I'm going to go with Dane Gagai. I thought he had a terrific game tonight. And Dane Gagai gets my man of the match for the South Sydney versus Parramatta game. And now let's go on to the other game that we just saw. It was the Sydney Roosters beating the Canberra Raiders at Central Coast Stadium 44 points to 16, and the game started off very well for the Raiders. And there was no try until the 20th minute, but in that first 19 minutes or so, I thought the Roosters were a little bit complacent, a couple of errors, and Canberra were getting under their skin, and they were doing a lot of things right, the Raiders. And the first try of the game went to Josh Hodgson. I wonder who backed him for first try scorer. Canberra got up to a 4-0 lead. Good start for the Raiders. And then about a minute after that, James Tedesco goes off with a suspected hip injury. It was a bit of a concern. Hannah Hollis reported on the sideline. I thought Tedesco was actually gone for the game. I was a bit worried for Origin selection there, but Tedesco was off and everyone was sort of freaking out at that stage. And then a try in the 27th minute to Corey Horsburgh. He scores for the Raiders. Canberra lead 10-0. It was the same against the Storm last week. They got out to a 10-0 lead. And, I was saying to a few people, I said, Canberra up 10-0. It's the same as last week. Can they maintain it for 80 minutes? And they weren't able to do that. In the 28th minute, James Tedesco came back on from his hip injury. He was all cleared, ready to go. He must have had a needle go in, and he was all good, ready to play, and he was out there. And in the 30th minute, a kick from Lachlan Lamb and a knock on from Caleb Aikens, and Joseph Suwali, the very hyped up young protege, he ended up scoring for the Roosters, and everyone was pretty happy about that. Suwali scoring, and at that stage it was Raiders 10 points to 4. And then in the 32nd minute, a try to Lachlan Lamb, so back-to-back sets, back-to-back tries for the Roosters. At that stage it was 10-0, and I'm telling you, 2 tries and 2 sets in a row for the Roosters, and Canberra and all sorts. They were panicking, they were overthinking everything, and they weren't looking good. And then in the 34th minute, Ryan James, just a complete brain explosion. It was a dirty play on Jared Hargraves. It was a second effort. He got his knees, and he sort of pushed up, and he put his knees right into Hargraves' stomach. I thought it was a very low act, and thought it was really stupid. So Ryan James goes to the sin bin. It was a dog act, and I still don't know why he did it. It was so dumb, and it was foul play, and it was the right decision to go to the sin bin. And then right before half-time, Satili Tupanua scores for the Roosters. Half-time, Roosters 16-10. Canberra are absolutely shot to pieces here. They are panicking. They had a 10-0 lead, and they blew it, and they were in all sorts. And in the second half, Jordan Rapana, he went on report. I'm surprised it wasn't a sin bin. I thought he was gone. It was a stupid play. I thought he was going to go to the bin, but he didn't go to the bin. And then in the 46th minute, a try to Daniel Tupou for the Roosters. Roosters at 22-10. Canberra's confidence, Canberra's mentality was absolutely shocked. Absolutely cooked all over the shop. And then a try to Joseph Manu. Roosters 28-10. It's all over Red Rover. Canberra were absolutely gone. And then Canberra hit back with a try to Ryan James, the guy that wants to try out for WWE, putting knees in the stomach of Hargraves, comes back on, scores a try for the Raiders, gets the score back to 28 points to 16. Canberra still a chance? At this stage I'm thinking, nah, they still got no chance. They're gone. And then 57th minute, Joseph Manu put up his own kick, and he's caught the ball himself and scored. Magnificent try, it was individual brilliance. Roosters at that stage, 34-16. The game's over. And then there was a try to Josh Morris in the corner. 38-16 Roosters. We all know the game's over. And then 66th minute, I thought this was a bad call. Tom Starling, a try saver on Josh Morris in the corner. Tom Starling goes on report for this, but let me just say this. I mean, when someone's sprinting across the field to try and stop someone from scoring in the corner, and if it was an accidental tackle, he got him in the face. I don't know how it ends up being a penalty. I mean, you can't pull out in those situations. I thought it was a tough call there against Tom Starling. So then there was a try to Satili Tupanua. He collects his double. Roosters get out to a 44-16 lead. And then with about a minute 30 to go, Sebastian Kris goes over in the corner. It's a no try. I thought it was a bad call. I thought the ball was still in play. I thought it was a tough call. The on-field call was try, but the referee, the bunker, we see the ball hit the dead ball line. Honestly, I don't know how they could overturn that. But anyway, no try to Sebastian Kris. And the Roosters, they get the win over the Raiders, 44 points to 16. Now, we'll talk about some of the players for the Roosters who played really well tonight. Now, there's a few of them who played well for the Roosters. We'll start off with Joseph Manu at 5'8". He was terrific. Joseph Suwali was terrific as well in his second game of NRL football. Satili Tupanua was great. He scored a double tonight. James Tedesco was excellent at fullback. CY Takiyaho and Jared Roria-Hargraves both ran over 200 metres. They were dynamite. Josh Morris had a great game as well. And I thought Fletcher Baker off the bench, I thought he was outstanding for the Roosters as well. And for the Raiders, I mean, they were poor on it. Jack White was just completely shocking. I don't understand the hype of origin for Jack White. I thought he was completely disgusting. I thought he was filthy out there tonight. He was ordinary as. Some of the Raiders good players. I thought Ryan Sutton tried really hard. I thought Josh Hodgson was great for the Raiders. I thought Corey Horsburgh had a good game as well. It's a shame that he got a bit of a wrist injury. Hopefully it's not a serious injury because he's a good player for the Raiders. And I thought Corey Harawira-Naera had a really strong game as well. But Canberra, I question Ricky Stewart. I question the culture down there. You know, it feels like a mentality thing for Canberra. They get out to a 10-0 lead, and then when it gets to 10-all, you know, the mental toughness for Canberra sort of just fades away. So I'm worried about Canberra. I think they're really going to struggle the rest of the year. I think they're going to finish in the bottom 4. They're in all sorts for mine. I'll be doing a mid-season review next week, so we'll definitely talk about the Canberra Raiders. But the Roosters for mine, far too good for the Raiders tonight. Too much quality. My top 3 players on ground for this game. I'm going to go number 3. Let's go with James Tedesco. Number 2, we're going to go with Jared Roria-Hargraves. He was terrific. Number 1, my man the match, Joseph Manu at 5'8", scored 2 tries. I thought he was dynamite tonight, Joseph Manu, so he gets my man of the match. But also, you know, players that were very good, you know, Tupanui and Takiyaho and, you know, Fletcher Baker, Josh Morris, you know, Sawali, they were all very good as well. But, guys, that's it for the Saturday night football review. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Sunday football review. Until then, guys, have a good one. See you later.